So, rocker cover's back on the Dacia. What I'm going to do before we go any further in terms of cleaning her up is let's go for a test drive and see if she's got anything else unexpected before we go too much further cleaning her up. So let's go for the first test drive. She's starting a lot quicker now, done that rocker cover. I think the rocker cover was allowing oil past the injectors, because don't remember at first they weren't properly tightened down. So she's starting up a lot quicker now. She sounds sweet as a nut. It's running really quietly. Oh, why haven't I got brakes? Oh, that's interesting. So she has thrown something else up for me. We haven't got any brakes. They've suddenly locked up. The devil Dacia strikes again. We have no brakes. We've literally got a few yards and the brakes are staying on. The pedal is absolutely rock solid and we're not braking. So back into the workshop again. This thing does not want to come back to life. Don't know what its problem is. I have no idea why the brakes would completely lock up like that. But that's the test drive over and done with. Bolax. Right, take two. Oh. Right, take two. Sorry, my tray plate's in the way. It was a vacuum pipe. That's the good news. Very quick, simple fix after a quick look at the engine bay. Not something I took off that. I think it's just been missed in the rebuild, which does happen. It can happen easily enough. But a quick, simple fix, no harm done, and we're away again. So let's see how she drives. First impressions. Engine is sweet as a nut. It's super quiet running. It now starts immediately, like I was saying. It was hesitant in starting before, wasn't it? It took a couple of turnovers before it fired. I think, like I say, that was oil on the injectors. But now we're running and she starts up on the button. So I'll just shut up for a second so you can hear it stand still. Just quietly ticking along like you expect a diesel to do. All the tyres were low. We had a tyre pressure warning light on, so I've done the tyre pressures. So what we're looking for now is we're looking for her to drive along, make sure she goes through all the gears smoothly, make sure she does properly stop now, and make sure we don't lose any oil on this journey. Make sure we've stopped those leaks. But this is the game, a lot of the time, guys, it's it can be very frustrating, it can be easy to give up, but a lot of the time it's silly little things that get missed when you're taking an engine this far apart. You just got to take your time, double and triple check everything, unlike I did, and make sure it's all back together. It's a big learning curve for me. Like I say to you guys all the time, I am not a mechanic. I've got the greatest respect for proper mechanics. Experience, there's just no replacement for experience when it comes to putting cars back together again. I am learning as I go. Every lesson, something like this, now I'll know in future if a pedal goes rock solid like that, then it's most likely a vacuum problem. So that's something I've learned on this occasion, and I'll learn for the next time, won't I? So yeah, so here we are, we're cruising along. What are we doing now? We're doing 45 mile an hour. I'll pull out, get a bit more speed up. Suspension is bang on, riding beautifully smoothly. Steering is bang on. Oh, nice BMW. Up into 5th gear now. We're up to 60 mile an hour. You can feel the torque curve is just here. If I put my foot down now, I think she's going to go off. Yeah, she picks up really nicely. This is going to make someone a lovely car. Now I've had all the headache and they won't have any. It's going to make someone a lovely car with that head gasket replaced, with the skim on their head, with the cam belt done and the tensioner and the water pump and the thermostat. This thing should, touch wood, looked after, go on for 100,000 miles or more. So let's crack on, get her back to the unit, and get it cleaned up. So we've test driven the Dacia, now we need to give the interior a proper good clean up. So let's get cracking on that. Boot is filthy. Let's get it sorted. That's better, isn't it? I'm still struggling to get all the dog hairs out though. I've gone over it loads of times with the brush connection on the hoover and the normal nozzle. If anyone's got a recommendation for a hoover that never failed to get dog hair out for them, please do let me know. I need to upgrade my hoover. Yeah, comment down below if you've got a hoover that's never failed to get dog hair out of fabrics for you. Right, I'm just going to get into the interior cabin now and do the same. So the plastics now, I'm just going to use some method anti-back. I've tried lots of stuff. Again, I'm open to recommendations, but I don't find a lot of the plastic cleaners on that do much better job than the basic anti-back stuff. So I'll give all the hard plastics a clean off with that. Obviously added advantage in the current environment of cleaning off all the bacteria. So we'll get that on there, we'll give it a scrub and then a wipe off and see how we're looking. Just using a nail brush to get right into the plastics. So we're giving the seats a blast with this Power Max upholstery cleaner. All the stuff I'm showing you, none of it's sponsored obviously, my channel's not big enough for that, it's just what I happen to use. Kicking around, I have to say I'm not sure this is actually the best stuff ever, but it does get it out. So just give it all a dousing, let it sit on there for a minute too, then I go over it with the soft nail brush, loosen the dirt off, and then give it a wipe over with a clean cloth microfiber. So literally just agitate it a bit, try and lift some of the dirt off, and then like I say, wipe it over with a clean microfiber afterwards. I think the instructions on this stuff say leave it for a couple of minutes, but I like to open the pores up a little bit. Or is it pores? I don't know if it's really pores, is it? Anyway, I like to sort of lift the dirt up a bit, then give it another quick blast, leave that for a minute or two, and then wipe it off. We'll see how it comes up. There we go, this back seat's looking super clean. Hit the front seats now. See, this front one's got some water staining and grease and stuff on it, so we're going to hit that quite hard with this spray. And let's see if it's man enough to get that or not. We'll leave that for a little minute or two before we start rubbing it in. So see how we get on with that. I can't categorically say it's gone, but it's looking better. I think there might still be a bit of a mark there. I can see it on the camera, but I can't see it in real life. But I've got to let it dry off now. It'll probably need a second go, to be fair to it. But yeah, it's looking really clean now, guys. Just got to clean the carpets, get them back in again. Sorry, the mats, floor mats, and that's the interior clean done. Fully committed now. We're scrubbing the headliner, getting rid of what Scott feels are dubious marks. I'll leave my comments to myself on that. But yeah, it looks like it's all coming out all right with a squirt of that fabric cleaner and going over. Obviously I'm using a much softer brush for this because the fabric will not like that nail brush. So let's crack on and get all this off. There we go, that's a lot better. all those marks are out now. Don't think I'd have sold it with those marks in. Wouldn't want to have sold it with those marks in. But yeah, all out now. Looking clean all over now. Right, last thing I've got to do is clean the mats up so I can put them back in the car and then we're done. So we don't have the stereo code for the Dacia because the battery went flat. Let me just wipe the camera a second. And I've got to get the radio out to get the number off the side of it. And from all videos I see, you just pull this casing off the front of it, but it's very tight. And this is a very thin plastic surround on it. The last thing I want to do is break it. So wish me luck. I'm going to try and gently prise it all the way around the outside with my plastic tools. I always prefer to use these. And just see if I can't get it to want to release nicely. I think I'm going to put the camera down. I'll say wish me a bit of luck with this, because this will be an expensive part to get if I break it, no doubt. Again, with my baby elephant touch, I've got to try and get this out nicely. See, at this point you've got to pull the actual vents off the connections as well. And it all doesn't feel particularly strong stuff. Right, last step, I think, at the top here. Oh, I hate it when it makes noises like that. Are we out? Yes, we're out. And it seems we've done it without breaking any trim. Let's hope the same can be said putting it back in again. Right, let's get this radio out, get the code for it. Put the code in. She's all working again now, so we can put the trim back on and yeah, get all back together again. Last thing I've got to get is a vent that was broken over here, so just got one of those, and then that should be the Dacia all tied up. So with the Dacia all cleaned up, a couple of little embellishes we put on, putting this little chrome trim on the rear bumper here, because the bumper was getting scratched up and had a little ding in it, and we think that's finished it off nicely and will also prevent future damage on it. Which is obviously come out really, really nicely. So the next step is to give the outside another quick wash and polish, and then she can have her photo shoot and we can put her up for sale. So the Dacia's all done. She's out here for a photo shoot and a walk around video, and I have to say I think she's looking really smart. So as I said, I put that little bit of trim on the boot, finished that off. I don't know if I mentioned earlier as well, the only other thing I had to do was I got a new windscreen for it because it had a load of scratches and a chip on it, so I got a new windscreen put on. But no, she's now ready and up for sale. So I think my starting price is going to be $3,995 for this car, because it is now really, really fantastic condition. That engine is bang on and has had the biggest service and work it's ever going to need. And as we know, this was an insurance claim, but it was really head gasket, wasn't it? That bumper had very minor damage to it. So I think these go for around about 5 this miles and age, about 5.5. So I think to get £1,000 off, I think it's a good deal for them. So yeah, so we'll get it up for sale and we'll see how we get on. Everyone needs that little bit of R&R time. So it's Sunday today. I'm very lucky to have a stocked pond at the bottom of our field, and for the first time this year I'm gonna try a little bit of fishing. We've got tench and grass carp in here, so I get to spend the afternoon sitting on the pond chilling out, not thinking about cars for a minute or two.